It's fine. It's not perfect. We're just having fun. That's all. We're just
the sniffles from the allergies.
I opened up something. So, Paola, thank you for this. I know you've been wanting to do this for a while.
Yes. Super excited.
So, first of all, you know the movie we're going to watch, right?
No.
It's called Jojo Rabbit.
Oh.
Do you have any idea what this movie is about?
Rabbit?
Yes. It technically, no, it doesn't have anything to... Well, there's a rabbit in it. But there's a specific reason why I chose this movie for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So last time when we did it with Andy, there was a movie that you started watching while we were talking. Do you remember what that movie is?
Honestly, I don't remember. It was so late. I don't remember at all.
You started watching The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's right. That's right. I have a really bad memory.
And
don't ask me what I did.
I was like, why would you want to watch that movie? It's so, yes, exactly. It's so sad. By the way, there's two other spectators here. Your names, please? I'm just joking. No. You have to say
Pamela.
Maida. Pamela and Maida. All right. So, so the reason I chose this movie, because this movie is also about the Holocaust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you can hear Andy in the background. He's so loud. Dude, when we did the podcast, I had to turn his mic down. I was like yelling in my ears. But anyways, so this movie is about the Holocaust, and it's about a little boy. His name is Jojo.
Okay.
And he has an imaginary friend. And his imaginary friend is Hitler.
Oh.
And so this little kid is in like the junior Nazis or something like that. And it's a comedy, it's a satire, and it's based on a book. Now the book is very different. Mm-hmm. It's not a comedy. It's not anything like that. This one's really funny. And it's kind of weird because it makes it a subject that's very, very tough to deal with, but it makes it sort of funny. Mm. And there's a specific relationship he has with his mother. And so that's the other reason I chose this, because it's a little kid and his mother. And I was like, oh, like you and Jason. Right. Now, I've asked this question to my other friends who've recently had kids. Mm-hmm. Since you've had a child, which, I mean, he's like, what, 6? It wasn't like that. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't like you just had him. But do you feel that the way you've watched movies or certain things has changed? Like in how you see movies, or like if you see something happen to a kid in a movie, you're like, oh my gosh, like that. Yeah,
I've definitely started crying in a few movies, a little bit more than maybe if I would have watched it when I was single, of course. I wouldn't have related, but it has definitely changed. I feel like I'm a little bit more emotional when it comes to those kind of movies.
Which is fine. Totally fine. And, and speaking, I was talking to somebody at work yesterday, and they were saying that they get really emotional when they read books and stuff like that. And I like to read books. That doesn't happen to me. The only time it happens to me is when I watch movies. Oh. Like Star Wars. I cried in Star Wars.
Right.
It's like it's not even.
And that's a good movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie. But like, and that's totally, I think totally valid. Now, when we went to New York, we were watching some movies. And I say this as 100% as a compliment.
Yeah.
That you guys don't seem, I wouldn't say that, but you don't shelter Jason that much.
Yeah.
From a lot of things. And my parents didn't do that either. And I think, I don't know if this is your experience, but my parents, they kind of, obviously if it's something bad, like outright bad, then like, no.
Yeah.
But they were like, you kind of have to like.
Yeah, see the world.
See the world, for what it is. I don't know if that's what you guys do with Jason.
I mean, in a way, yes. We don't want to, make him, shelter him too much to where if eventually, because he's already homeschooled. So if he ever had to experience or see something in the street, he wouldn't be like, hey, Mom, look what he's doing, you know, and embarrass me. No, but we, of course, talk to him about things that are obviously wrong. But we don't shelter him.
Like, I mean, you're not going to like have him watch like Harry Potter or
exactly
something. Like, okay, speaking of that what you were saying, he did do something when we were in New York that he told somebody like, oh, that's not right, or that's not something. I don't remember what it was.
I feel like again, I have a bad memory. I kind of remember something happening to, what was it? I know that in one time at Hobby Lobby, it was Christmas time and we're walking in hallways and he was like, hey Mom, look, Christmas stuff. Jehová no gusta. Jehová don't like that. And I'm like, Jason. The lady was walking by with her cart full of Christmas gifts. It might have been
something like that because
so it could have been something like that.
A little bit before.
Yeah.
Was it something with the election? Because we went during the election.
Oh yeah.
They might remember, but I remember one of you was like, hey,
Andy
like,
would remember.
was like, hey, like you can't say that to people or something like that. Like,
yeah.
like
There's a couple times. Yo no gusta. No, there's been a couple times where I've had to tell him, so I wouldn't remember too many times.
So, now I asked this question for everyone. What kind of movies are you like really into? Like the type of genre?
Well, honestly, I'm glad you picked this movie because I don't want to say that I love the Holocaust. It's obviously something very sad.
You guys heard it here first. Paola loves the Holocaust. That's going to be your campaign slogan.
But I enjoy watching because, you know, you like to, I like to see like real life things, like something that's based on a true story, because it makes me then like after watching a movie go back and look at what really happened, the people, if there's photos of the time where it happened and stuff. I just find that very intriguing, mysterious and stuff, you know.
And then I'm sure with Andy and Jason, like
Chicago PD.
the Marvel movies and all that.
Yeah.
Sonic movies.
No, we don't want to watch Sonic anymore.
I was thinking about like maybe trying one with Jason, but it would be like 5 minutes long before he like we're talking about something. It's like, and did you know that Sonic? And I'm like, yes. Or what does he say? Oh, imagine. That's his favorite word. Imagine if Sonic and me, we went to like, I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, and that Sonic came out in I don't know what, and I'm like, oh, do you know the year you were born?
Were you obsessed with that? Something like that as a kid? Like that you were just fixated on?
Honestly, a couple things. I love Dragon Tales. You don't remember Dragon Tales?
No.
I love and Strawberry Shortcake.
I do know Strawberry
Shortcake. Strap up a berry.
I would say Star Wars was one of them. Ninja Turtles, but like I think Jason's
he surpassed I think anyone I know.
Because it's not even like I would say probably most people's experience, like they're obsessed with one thing, then they'll switch to something else. How long has he been obsessed with Sonic?
Well, he started out with Toy Story when he was 3.
Okay, well that's a good movie.
Yeah, it's excellent movie, but he hated it.
Oh, really?
And then he moved on to Cars.
Okay.
And Lightning McQueen, and then now it's Sonic.
What do you think? I think it's been
his worst phase, but I mean, at one point, I'm sure I'll miss it. Right now, I don't.
Well, like also too, if he's an adult and in like his 30s, and he's like, "Mom, did you see the new Sonic movie came out?" And you're like, "Okay,
maybe."
I mean, I say that as somebody who's like going to celebrate tomorrow.
Yeah,
May the 4th. So, as a matter of fact, I have an undershirt of this Star Wars right now. So yeah, I would say that too. I would say history-wise, one of them is World War II for me, and I think it hits a little deeper. Not that we know what happened, or especially with someone like a population like the Jews, that they suffered a lot. Yeah. But as Jehovah's Witnesses, we know that there were brothers and sisters that went through that stuff. So I think it hits hard for us too to realize that they went through that stuff.
Exactly.
And obviously, we're not going to go through something that bad, but we might something like that, you know, and with our beliefs,
right?
And I always tell this story that in LA, there's a Holocaust museum. I don't know if you guys ever been to a Holocaust museum.
No.
Literally the worst thing ever on the history of the planet.
Really?
I hated it. Like, it's very informative. It's very touching. It's a good commemoration for what happened, but you leave there like devastated. So I don't know if you had this experience when you went, that comes a point where they put you literally like in the front of the gates of a concentration camp. So it's like a mock, like you're indoors, but it's like there's fences and there's walls and it looks like the entrance of a concentration camp. And when I went with some friends, and as I'm walking in, there's TVs there, and it says like this many Jewish people were in the Holocaust, this many people who were gypsies, and it said people who were disabled, homosexual. And then it's like as I'm walking through the gates, it says Jehovah's Witnesses, and I'm like, that's me. And then you walk in, and then the next room is a gas chamber. And they just leave you in there for like 5 minutes.
Does it get hot?
No, it doesn't get smoky. But then they're explaining the stuff, and like for me, it kind of hit me when I was there. I was like obviously I don't know what that's actually like.
Right.
And then the rest of my day was ruined. And then they also, I don't know if you had this experience, they give you like these cards.
Yeah, to like make it seem like you're this person and their story.
There's a story. And then at the end, mine was dead. Oh. And then I think most of them, they were either dead or they had no idea what happened to them, which obviously they passed away.
Right.
So I think that one, so Saving Private Ryan is another really good one that I really enjoy. This one is really good, although it doesn't show the horrors of it. But like Schindler's List, I don't know if you've seen that one. Have you seen it?
I've seen a couple.
Geez. That one's terrible.
Yeah. And The Pianist.
The Pianist. I don't remember watching it, but I've watched it before.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme.
You do like those kinds of movies?
I do. I really had a good social studies teacher. Her name was Miss Newman.
Oh,
Shout out
good,
to Miss Newman.
Shout out Miss Newman.
Yes. You know, people would actually from other schools would get her to like teach other teachers that were in the Middle Tennessee area about that subject because she's been there and everything. To the actual like concentration camps and all. I've
always wanted to go to Germany, but I mean, I can't handle the Holocaust Museum. I'm sure I couldn't handle a concentration camp or anything like that.
Yeah, that's got to be pretty chilling.
I'm sure it is. But yeah, this is so Jojo Rabbit, and this is directed at I don't know if you've heard the name before, but I'm sure you've seen his movies. Taika Waititi.
Okay.
He's the guy who did the last two Thor movies.
Okay.
Which is Thor Ragnarok and Thor Love and Thunder. He's done a couple episodes of Star Wars, The Mandalorian, I think.
Okay.
Or Boba Fett, one of those. He's from New Zealand. And he's Maori and half Jewish.
Oh.
So you'll see that he's the one that plays Hitler in this movie.
Wow.
So this movie stars a little kid named Roman Griffin Davis. He plays Jojo, and there's this other character named Elsa. Taika Waititi plays the imaginary Hitler. Scarlett Johansson is his mom.
Oh.
Sam Rockwell plays a Captain K.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has Steve Merchant, who is one of the guys who created the original Office.
Okay.
They're in this movie. And like I said, it's a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's lost, but there are very key emotional moments. And I want you, as a mother, to focus on the relationship between Scarlett Johansson and her son, which is very, very sweet.
Yeah.
Any thoughts going into this?
No, I'm excited to see it. Honestly, I love anything Holocaust.
You guys heard it here again. She likes the Holocaust.
I don't know how to say that. How would you say that? No, you
do not say it. I enjoy the Holocaust.
No.
Big fan. Number one fan.
Big fan. Well, you know what I mean.
No, I get what you said. You like the history behind it?
I guess.
Learn about it?
The facts?
She's a big fan of Anne Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny, you'll see that, and we'll go back to this, but some of the characters that are Nazis, they kind of seem sympathetic, and you'll understand what I mean when I'm watching it. Okay. One in particular,
okay,
because you'll see how, and again, these people were Nazis, so they're terrible. No matter what, they're not redeemable.
Right.
But in the movie, it kind of shows like how people sometimes were just blinded by complete. That's fine. We're almost out of here.
Yeah.
Just blinded by complete just loyalty for no reason, and the mom even explains it.
Okay.
All right, so you ready to watch this, pal?
Ready.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, just so you guys know, I have my own episode. Hey.
Yes.
Just so you guys know, I have my own episode. Oh, that's the only part you've seen? You guys see the whole episode?
¿Qué?
Lo que me enseñaste una vez.
¿Qué cosa?
That talks about like 80% of my life.
Did I describe the movie accurately? There's like 5 people here now. Oh, wait, hold on. How many? 1, 2, 3,
Hey, check 4, 5. Podcast, Friday Night Lights.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we forgot to mention that Andy and Paola are married. It's not just some random people. So was the movie kind of what I described it was going to be?
Yes, it was. It was very good. No, I liked it. It
but
was good,
I don't know how someone could have not liked it because it's such a good movie.
It was fun. I mean, it was funny in some ways to see Hitler as like something that they're making it funny.
Yeah.
Because anytime anyone ever hears Hitler, it's like, oh, this awful man, which he is. But
they made him seem like goofy, like a dummy, which for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
And so funny you should talk about that because the guy who played Hitler, Taika Waititi, he's Maori from New Zealand and he has a Jewish background. So he wrote the screenplay and he directed it based off of a book named Caged Skies, which really has nothing to do. There are some differences in the book. The book is much darker and it doesn't have the imaginary friend. And both parents are there. Both the Jojo's parents, and they're hiding the girl. Okay. Now, one of the things that I saw some like interviews and stuff, he said that a lot of people, when they play Hitler or Nazis in general, he said that a lot of people like to do research or whatever into doing specifically to portray Hitler, and he wanted to do that. Yeah. But he came to like a really good conclusion. He said like, I don't owe Hitler anything. Like, I don't know him authenticity. I don't know him anything. Yeah. So he didn't do any research into it, which I think is pretty cool, because it's like, yeah, you don't own Hitler anything. Yeah. So right off the bat, in the beginning of the movie, there's, I guess you could say, yeah, it's a montage. It's a montage of Hitler basically going around to the masses. Yeah. And you can hear, the non-diegetic music is playing, and it's "I Wanna Hold Your Hand," and it's a German version. And I'm pretty sure that is the Beatles actually singing, because if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, all you Beatleheads, that they were popular in Germany first, before they made it a lot bigger in UK and in the States. But anyways, I digress. So that song is playing while they're having this montage of Hitler. Yeah. And it's showing people going crazy, and it kind of reminds you of, a couple years later, how people went crazy for the Beatles, the Beatlemania, and I guess this was like Hitler mania. So I think it's trying to compare, or not so much compare, but just so that how people were insane for this terrible person. Yeah. And it makes it almost seem comical that somebody would be that crazy for, in a sense, a politician or someone of head of state. And not only that, but also someone who is just objectively a terrible person. So it was really funny to kind of set the mood for the movie of how ridiculous, the rest of the stuff that you're going to see later on in the movie is going to be. So other than that, the one thing I wanted to talk to you about, and we talked in the beginning, was the portrayal of Rosie, Scarlett Johansson. I think she did a really, really great job. Just go for it, bro. It doesn't matter. I think. What do you think about her performance? How she did?
I think. Look, what time is it? 9:44 p.m. I'm forgetting how to speak. Okay. No, I think she did an amazing job, honestly. I mean, Scarlett Johansson overall, she's a great actor. But, at first there was some things I was kind of like, why is she being so rude to her son? She would call him stupid and different things, until I got into her, like, personality, her actor, like the way what she was playing, as, and the story behind everything. I mean, I think overall, like every mother does, every mother tries to protect their child. And at the same time, I was thinking, well, why is she protecting a Jew, but letting her son, be such a proud, what do you call?
Little Nazi.
Little Nazi, exactly. But then I started thinking, I'm like, well, you know what? That's her protecting her son. Because the more that he practices and becomes this little Nazi, the more or less he'll be in danger. And like, of course, if he goes out and plays and he sees a Jew and somebody's doing something bad to a Jew, but he won't, go in there and say, hey, no, don't do that to them, because he'll feel bad or whatever, then he'll be less at risk of like something bad happening to him. So I'm thinking that, that's probably why she was so, okay with him being this little Nazi, even though she defended Jews. It was interesting to see how all that went. I mean, it was confusing at parts a little bit, but it was good.
And I really enjoy that too, because I think the way that she was a resistance fighter, but I think in the way that she raised her son was kind of her own way of also being a resistance. And I really liked Rosie's portrayal, because she represents love, she represents compassion, moral clarity in the society that's, consumed by hate. And I don't remember if she's the one who says it or if it's Elsa that says it, that, Jojo is swept up, her son is swept up in this ideology, but she knows that he's not really into it. Yeah. She just knows that, like, or I think it was Elsa that said it. You're just like a boy who likes swastikas and likes to play dress up and wants to be part of a club. And you see that she knows that she's subtle, that Rosie's subtly guiding her son towards that empathy. And to be honest with you, I think that she knew that her and Elsa knew about each other. I'm pretty sure she knew, but she kind of didn't say anything or made it seem like she didn't know to both of them. so they can kind of form that bond. And she kind of noticed that he was becoming a little bit more sympathetic. And I think when you're a little kid, it's easier for you to sway towards things. As an adult, I think you become more less easy to convince or to sway if you're not a reasonable adult, because she understood that he's not actually really a Nazi per se. Like, he doesn't actually probably believe these things. It's just that, you know, it was around him. And she's like, I know my son's like
somewhere in there.
Yeah. And he's not a complete Nazi.
Right.
And I'm watching, I'm not going to, you know, not to get to in politics, because I don't like doing that. But there was this one segment I saw.
Yeah.
And they were interviewing this person about this. I'm not going to say like what party, whether it's left, right, independent, or even if it's in this country, but they were talking to this person, and they basically told her, well, what if we have evidence of this and this and this? Well, then, okay, yes. Well, and then the person that we're interviewing was like, well, then yes, I would believe that. And they're like, okay, but we do. Here are the evidence. This person admitted to that. There's stuff like that. And then the person that they were interviewing said, well, then I don't care either way. And I think that's when it becomes a problem. Is it like the interviewer said, that's when it becomes a problem, because when it becomes your identity. Like, these sort of things become your identity. And I think Jojo hadn't gotten to that point yet. It was getting there, but he was still able to be molded in a good way, so to speak.
Yeah.
Towards something else. And I say molded because obviously you want to mold your son or your child differently from hate, from something like that. And another thing too is that Rosie's form, not only was she fighting with the resistance, so to speak, not actually fighting, but, you know, fighting.
Yeah.
But the other way she was fighting was through her motherhood. You know, motherhood was her resistance.
Yeah.
You know, the way she portrayed a motherhood as nurturing, but as it's a form of resistance, her motherhood, her nature values, in such a violent and hateful system that she lived. And it was kind of gut-wrenching to see that she does have to make that decision at some point, or she was going to, or had to, or rather she knew that it might come down to the point where she might have to protect her son over Rosie.
Yeah.
And I think she even mentioned something like, I don't know what I would do in that situation. And then she kind of corrects herself. She's like, I don't know where I would send you, you know. But I think that's a very good point, that motherhood is her resistance. Motherhood is her resistance. Shout out to Muse. The one thing I did want to, spoiler alerts for this movie, the death scene, Rosie's death scene, it was like very abrupt. And even I've seen this movie 3 or 4 times, and I think, and like I mentioned, so I saw this before to like write notes and stuff like that. But this time I saw it, the last time I saw it, which was, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, I saw it at work. The scene where I was like waiting for the death scene. I was like, I know it's coming.
Yeah. And
I thought that the scene with the butterfly, right? He's like looking at the butterfly towards the end of the war. Then he comes upon her shoes, and you just see, like, you know, she's been hung. It hit me hard, like in the sense of like not so much emotionally, but I was like, whoa, like it was very sudden. And the first time I saw it, it was like that.
I mean, it took me a minute until then I saw the red and white shoes.
The shoes,
and I was
yeah.
like, wait a minute, those are his mom's. And as soon as he started crying and hugging her feet, I knew right away that was her.
And then he still couldn't tie her shoes.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the end. I don't know if you noticed something else too, that usually when we see movies about concentration camps or World War II, that the color palette is very like grayish. I don't know if you noticed in this one, it wasn't.
No.
Until the mom dies. Then it changed a little bit more towards gray.
You're right. Yeah. That's interesting.
And then I don't know if you noticed, and this, I don't know if you saw my phone. I was like Googling stuff because I noticed that. And then this part too, that right after the death of his mom, that the camera pans to like just shots of houses.
Yeah.
And they all kind of look like eyes. And I was like, what does that mean? I don't know if you have any interpretation of what that could mean.
No, I mean, I saw that too, but I don't know what it could mean, honestly. And that's why I enjoy it about these movies that are maybe based on real events. This one wasn't, I don't think, but...
I mean, the grand scheme of things, but not so much that.
Not so much that, but that's kind of what I like about these movies, that then you can look after for like all these information.
Yeah.
All this information about it.
I didn't see anything about it, but the only thing I can think of is just like, in the previous scene where Rosie and Jojo, they are in the square, and then there's people that were killed.
Yeah.
There was other people around, like not really paying attention, but there was people in the square.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Rosie was observing them, and she kind of tells her son, like, hey, like, you have to look at it. And then this Jojo's like, what did they do? And she was like, oh, they did what they could.
And then he does that at the end, right?
Yeah, he does that. And then at the end, but he's the only one in the square. Like, nobody else is there. So my thing was, it was like, maybe it was just like that she dies and life kind of goes on, because I was thinking about this in a situation like war like that, or Nazi, or in Rwanda, and all these different places where people had to suffer through terrible things. You lose a loved one, you have no time to mourn. Like, you have to just, like, if you're trying to survive, you just kind of have to keep going. And that's basically what they did. And another thing I noticed, that I thought that once she died, they started invading, and then that was the end of the movie. But it made it seem like after she died that Jojo and Elsa kind of lived together for like a couple of weeks or something like that.
Yeah. No, that was interesting. I mean, just the way the movie overall went. I didn't expect the mom to die, first of all.
No, you don't.
You don't think about that. But then at the end, well, I don't know if you're gonna get into this,
go for
but
it.
whenever like he's telling her, oh well, what's her name? Elsa.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, is it safe to come out? And he's
I didn't notice that until this one too.
Yeah, and he's like, no, but it's because he doesn't want to let her go.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only person he's got left now, and his mom is gone. Everybody's gone.
Yeah, his mom died. They don't actually say how his sister died.
Yeah.
Inga.
They don't know.
But I'm assuming she died because of the war.
Maybe the book, is the book different?
You know, I don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe I'm assuming she either died from the war or like a disease during
probably
the war, and then the dad is off fighting in the war.
Yeah.
And you kind of, I don't know, they really didn't make it clear who he was fighting for.
Yeah.
But it made it seem like he was also a resistance fighter,
right?
Even though he went to fight for Germany.
Probably, it could be.
And then we were kind of wondering, all of us, we were like, is he German?
Yeah.
Is he Jewish? And then when the scene where she's pretending to be him, she's speaking with a French accent. At least I thought it was.
Yeah.
So
I
don't know I don't know if he was French. So that was one question that I left. There's a lot of these questions that I felt kind of left unanswered, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
A question for you, and see what you guys, and also you guys, see what you think. Why did the Gestapo or the police, why do you think they went to Jojo's house?
You mean whenever they were looking for?
There's something. They were looking for something. Okay.
You guys have any? Well, tell me yours first.
They had already killed Rosie. So she was already dead.
Yeah.
And they found out, so they went to the house afterwards trying to figure out if they had this other girl, Elsa. And then she pretended to be.
And then the other thing that was kind of odd to me is if she meant, like, whenever they asked her for her papers and everything for her to show proof, you know, that she is who she says she is.
Yeah.
She said what was it, May 1st?
May 1st.
May 1st. And then when she goes back into the room where she's hiding after they leave, she's like, they're going to come back because, you know, it says May 7th.
May 7th.
And I said May 1st. I was wondering why they never came back.
Well, if you noticed, the person that she sent, so the Gestapo was there.
Yeah.
Then right after that, Captain K came. And that was what I was saying in the beginning, that he was like one of the characters that you kind of sympathize with. Because from the beginning, you can tell he just doesn't care, or he's disillusioned or whatever. And also, you started laughing at it, Andy, too. But him and Finkel kind of had this like weird, like almost like gay relationship, or like closeted or something. Like they would. Yeah. There was a couple of scenes where they're like feeding each other, and they're just very, very flamboyant.
Nothing ever happened, but
so obviously they couldn't, because they would have been killed. Exactly. But he shows up like a couple seconds after the Gestapo shows up, and I think it's to tell him that his mom is dead. That his mom is dead. I think
that's true. That actually makes sense now that you mentioned.
And then when he sees the police there, he's just like,
oh snap,
plays
you're
along
here
with
too.
it. Yeah. And so then when Elsa shows her the papers of Inga, because she's pretending to be his sister, one, you see the picture,
Yeah.
it's clearly not her. Even though she's young, it's
Yeah.
clearly not her.
Right.
They're very similar, but
Yeah.
the hair's or the face is different.
Completely.
And then you said that she says May 1st, and it's actually May 2nd.
Yeah.
Then Jojo says, "Oh, he's helping us."
But I think they just kind of enjoyed the moment because when they saw that book that was ridiculing, the Jews and everything, and they kind of just kept on going through the pages, making fun. Oh yeah, and this is what was the pictures about?
Nathan, her boyfriend, her dead boyfriend.
Right, her dead boyfriend, and they probably knew that she was a Jew and just enjoyed going over that whole book.
That could be it. And I also think that maybe it's just because she only showed the papers to Captain K. The other people didn't see it. So he was just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, so that's what I think he was trying to help them, at the end. But also like at the same time, at the end of the movie, he was fighting for the Nazis until
the end.
So I'm like, was he just conflict? I mean, like we said, ultimately you can't sympathize with these people because they're Nazis.
Right.
But like,
there's a lot of like this is the kind of movie that you can watch like 3-4 times and still get something different out of it, because there is some confusing parts that I would probably go back and watch more carefully next time because I didn't understand very well, but it is a great movie. Yeah.
Okay, so another question I had. Is Jojo's dad alive?
I would think so because nobody ever
said that he wasn't, but he said they hadn't heard from him like in 2 years.
Yeah. Possibly.
So that just means Jojo's by himself now? I mean, he has Elsa, but...
I think, well, of course they're not going to make a number 2 movie.
The Return of Jojo.
The Return of Jojo. I would say he's alive. I don't know.
Whenever they have these kinds of movies, especially like true stories, you always do research on them. I always do, at least. And then you find out like, oh, it's not how that was.
Yeah.
So at the end of this, they made it seem like everybody was happy, but that's not really how it was.
Yeah.
After the Americans came and it was under US, the UK, France, and the USSR. They were under that rule for 4 years.
Yeah.
So there was some freedom for Germans, but that still wasn't that bad. And then after it was in 1949, that's when it split into East and West.
Right.
So there really wasn't any peace for the German people, whether they were Jews or not. Like, and in the movie they made it seem like, oh, like we're gonna live happily ever after, but that wasn't the case.
No.
That's really crazy. Would you recommend this movie to some other people?
Oh yeah, definitely. If you enjoy watching Holocaust movies, I think it's an interesting movie to watch. I like to go through, quite. I go on Netflix and I look up Holocaust movies, and I feel like I've seen every single one, but somehow there's always one other movie that I haven't seen. So this was one of them for sure. I
loved the little kid Yorkie. Like we needed more of the little fat kid in the movie.
He was like a really loyal friend.
Yeah. But he was also too like when he said, "Oh, my girlfriend's Jew," he was just like, "Hey, that's cool.
That's really good to hear. That's great news."
And then I don't know if you noticed, he didn't use a British accent. I mean, a German accent. He was just using his regular British accent because he's British.
True. Oh no, you see.
I mean, he's a kid.
Yeah.
So even for Jojo, this was the first time he's ever acted, and I think he was nominated for an Oscar. So was Scarlett Johansson. Taika Waititi won for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Yeah.
And I think the movie was nominated for an Oscar.
Well, it should.
I don't know if the jokes were pretty funny.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird to laugh about a movie about Nazis, but
I know. Almost feels a little twisted, just like me saying I love Holocaust movies.
Did you notice the clones? That was like a weird thing that they said.
What do you mean?
So after Jojo gets blown up, she Scarlett Johansson, Rosie, takes Jojo to like where Captain K is, and they're like, "You need to find my kid a job and make him feel like he's part of the group." And then Rebel Wilson, I forget what her name was. She's like, "Oh, he can walk the clones," and they pan over, and there's like a lot of little kids that just look exactly alike.
Oh yeah.
And at the end of the movie, when the Russians and the Americans are invading, she gives one of the clones a grenade.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, "Go hug somebody that doesn't look like us." I know that you laughed at this one, Andy, when Jojo is talking to imaginary Hitler about Elsa, and she says she's like a Jewish female Jesse Owens.
I think it was funny. It was funny. It was good. It was very good. I enjoyed all like the little plot twists from it has quite a bit actually.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, with the mom, of course, and then how his relationship ends up with Elsa. So that was all very nice. And at the end, how, they don't get what they want because obviously Jojo's suffering. He has nobody else, but they end up having this really nice relationship, him and Elsa, that they can now walk freely.
Yeah. And another thing that we were talking about is the crazy stuff. They do it for jokes in the movie, but the things that they say that they believe about the Jewish people.
Yeah.
And then like legitimately that's what they thought, but you kind of come back to our time now, how people think really ridiculous things now about other people, not only in the United States, but just in general, that they're spreading these lies and they're spreading fear.
Yeah.
For whoever, whether you're, whatever religion you are, whatever race you are. And it's kind of like these things just it's sad that they just repeat themselves over and over again.
Yeah. And what you're saying, honestly, it reminded me of like when he's going through the book of the drawings at the end, and he's kind of like seeing all the bad, drawings that he had about Jews and everything. Yeah. And then towards the end where it was like the beautiful one that she drew of a girl with her hair flowing in the wind or whatever. And it's kind of like he's realizing, wow, these are all lies that I began to, believe at the very beginning when I was a little Nazi. And now, I met this beautiful Jew girl that now we're really good friends. I even think of her as my girlfriend. Yeah. And it was kind of like an eye opener for him that like he lived in a lie for the longest time.
Yeah. I really like that. I like the performance by Sam Rockwell. He's really funny.
Yeah.
And anything he does, I'm always a fan of.
Yeah.
We did another movie with him in it. Oh, Galaxy Quest. He was in it. He plays Justin Hammer in the Marvel movies. One of the other things too that I did look at. So Captain K, played by Sam Rockwell, gets captured, and then he gets killed. And I was like, that's kind of messed up that they killed like the Nazis. I mean, Yeah. They are what they are. But that actually did happen, that they like not only the Russian soldiers, but the U.S. soldiers. And the research I looked at, obviously you can't justify them killing these people just like that. But it said it was more of like out of shock and out of like anger. Yeah. Especially there was one in the concentration camp in Dachau, which is one of the, weird to say famous, but like the most infamous concentration camps. They said that a lot of the Allied soldiers, like out of like shock and awe, they just like started killing, especially to the people who were part of the SS, which was like the Nazi political party police. They did, yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, the Gestapo was the Nazi police for the state, and the SS was for the party, the elite, yeah. The elite homies, I guess. But even in this comedy, you can see that the terribleness of what this was. Yeah. And it goes to show just how terrible it is that even in a comedy, you can still like see how terrible it was. Right.
Yeah. There's no way to make a good comedy around this situation. I mean, it was pretty bad. Yeah. But yeah, it was good. And I liked how at the end, like it's his imaginary friend Hitler. He pushes him out the window like, I'm done with you. Like,
and then also like how they depict him with the on each side of his head.
Well, it was funny because you do see a kid like Jason's age, how his mind is going with all these things that he's seeing and how he's processing it. And, you see a kid like Jason and you're like, well, I'm not saying that my kid is dumb. My kid is very smart, but just how their brain works with like what's going on around them. And the kid did an amazing job doing that. Yeah. So.
Did you ever have an imaginary friend when you were a kid?
No.
You did?
I wasn't that fun.
You had an imaginary friend? What was his name?
You have an imaginary friend, Jason?
Is it Sonic? I swear, bro, if it's Sonic.
Is it Sonic?
It's not Sonic.
You had an imaginary friend? I never did.
No. I would have liked one. I was an only child. I could have used one.
That's true.
Guys, my imaginary friend was
You literally just made that up.
He did.
Speaking of the Hitler part, and this is probably the last thing we'll talk about, that you could tell that if you've seen Thor: Love and Thunder, or specifically some of the other movies that Taika Waititi has made, that a lot of it is improv. So a lot of his lines as Hitler were just improv.
Wow.
Which he does a really good job of making like these jokes, because all his lines were supposed to be jokes.
Well, I guess it would help him.
Yeah.
Would help, something come out more natural.
Yeah.
As well. So.
Anyway, the other joke that I like was the joke that he made about Winston Churchill.
No, I don't know who that is.
He was the prime minister of Great Britain during the war.
Oh.
And so he says, like, when he's talking about Elsa, and he's like, well, we'll just burn down the house and say that Winston Churchill did it.
Oh. Wow.
Which also, don't look it up, but Winston Churchill was also not the best person either. Well, look, in fairness to Winston Churchill, most heads of state are not squeaky clean. Like most presidents, most kings.
Oh yeah, for
if
sure.
not all of them, they're not squeaky clean.
Some dirt to them.
they've had to do some stuff to get to where they are.
Right.
Alrighty then. Thank you very much for this. I'm glad we finally were able to do this.
Yeah.
And then maybe you want to do one time, Jason? We can watch the Sonic movies. Is there anything that's similar to Sonic but not Sonic?
Crash?
I was going to say, do they have a Crash Bandicoot movie?
Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah, there's a Crash Bandicoot movie, but it's not real.
You know what? He does love that it's coming out very soon, Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, Lilo and Stitch. You seen the original?
Yeah, I have seen it.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. We could talk about other stuff later. That's always funny to me when people are like, Dad, you can listen. Hey guys, I'm back. So I failed to mention this. I'm doing this without Pal. But the costume design in this movie is really, really good. And I think for me, the 50s is a fashion that is almost timeless. If you watch the movie, you'll get what I'm saying. And I'm not talking about the Nazi uniforms. Yeah, it's psychos. I'm talking about the Scarlett Johansson had, the Jojo that Elsa had. That sort of fashion, I think, is timeless, and it'll probably come around again. I know it's very niche right now, and it's very like only certain people, if you're into that sort of era, wear it. But I think that kind of fashion is just absolutely timeless. But anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Okay, bye.